Exactly. I was surprised how much he knew about them. Have they been around the station much?
Quark's a Ferengi envoy. He can smell profit a parsec away. I'd stay away from him if I were you. You let him get a foot in and he'll stick to you like a Thalosian nerve parasite.
What have you learned about them?
More than they'd like, no doubt. They're a secretive people, and I don't like secrets. I'm sure the ambassador must be wondering where you are.
You don't consider yourself a humanoid, then? A shapeshifter?
We prefer changeling. And no, I don't consider myself humanoid. I take on this form because I have to if I want to blend in on this station. As you can see, I still haven't perfected it.
Sorry, I've never met one of your people before.
Now consider yourself lucky. I've met quite a few of your race in my time. Diplomats, consuls, delegates. You Tyrians certainly have a talent for bureaucracy. You're a patient species, though, I'll give you that.
I've never met a shapeshifter before.
How can you be sure?
Well, I guess I'm not.
Now consider yourself lucky you haven't run into my people before. They're not particularly friendly to your kind, generally.
That's one of the things people expect from us, yes. It's not something I'm very good at living up to.
A restless Tyrian? I'll have to keep my eye on you.
I'm a little tired of Tyrian patience, Mr. Odo. This may be difficult for a shapeshifter to understand, but sometimes conforming to a mold isn't easy for a humanoid.
I might understand that better than you think, Envoy. Being able to change your shape doesn't mean that you're able to change who or what you are, even if it's not what others of your kind would expect.
I was wondering if there were any security issues I should be aware of.
As I understand it, we're trapped in the center of a violent plasma disruption, cut off from the Defiant and the rest of the Federation, and hosting a shipload of aliens who may be responsible for a full-scale attack on the station. Yes, I'd say we've got a few security issues.
Do you believe the Scythians are responsible for the attack on the station?
I believe in taking precautions. Either they were behind the attack or they know who is. If I were you, I'd be on my way to find out which.
I wondered if you could help me locate the ambassador's quarters.
I'm the security chief, Envoy, not the station information booth. Why don't you go be diplomatic somewhere else?
Something's wrong. Not even a Tyrian could sleep through that.
You may be right. I'll check the...
Kira to security.
Odo here.
Odo, we've had an incident on level 19.
I'm not sure. I just came in and found him like this. At least, I think this is him. It's Ambassador Carrig. He's dead.
It would appear so.
Someone's killed the ambassador. What did it do to him?
It's a type of disruptor weapon. It inhibits the cohesion of organic molecules.
I don't understand.
A directed burst causes complex compounds to break down. The victim's cell structure just falls apart.
The poor man. Was it painful?
I doubt it was a pleasant experience, but it would have been quick at least. He couldn't have suffered long.
What exactly is a molecular inhibitor?
It's a type of disruptor weapon. It inhibits the cohesion of organic molecules.
I don't understand.
A directed burst causes complex compounds to break down. The victim's cell structure just falls apart.
So the killer could have escaped?
If he did, tracking him down will be difficult. We have no way to warn the Bajoran authorities until the plasma storm passes.
Then he'll get away. He could be halfway across the galaxy before the plasma storm clears.
I don't like loose ends, Envoy. I'll find him. Believe me.
I doubt any of his enemies would resort to killing him. But look at this place. Someone's torn it apart. Maybe he was killed for something he had with him.
You may be right. But what could the ambassador have been carrying that would have been worth a man's life?
The Scythians.
Yes?
His mission at DS9 was to meet with them. They've got to be connected with his death.
Very possibly. Although I doubt that this particular type of weapon is common to their portion of the galaxy. I'm reading considerable neutron disruption. Looks like a molecular inhibitor. Haven't seen one of these for a while. Messy, but effective.
Could they have done this?
Very possibly. Although I doubt that this particular type of weapon is common to their portion of the galaxy. I'm reading considerable neutron disruption. Looks like a molecular inhibitor.
Whoever killed Ambassador Carrick may be after the Scythian delegates next. We've got to protect them.
Did it occur to you it may have been the Scythians that killed Carrick? After all, he came to DS9 to meet with them.
The Scythians are here to forge an alliance with the Federation, Mr. Odo, not to murder our officials.
Well, let's hope you're right, Envoy.
You think they did this?
Very possibly. Although I doubt that this particular type of weapon is common to their portion of the galaxy. I'm reading considerable neutron disruption.
We've got to alert Starfleet.
And how exactly do you suggest we do that, Envoy? With the plasma storm outside, we can't even contact Bajor. No, I'm afraid we're on our own here for a while.
I'm going to Ops. I've got to talk to Captain Sisko.
Stay where you are for the moment, Envoy. I want everything left just the way you found it.
But the murderer...
I'll want to interview you at length about this later, Envoy. But right now, Captain Sisko's requested your presence in Ops.
I can't just leave. He's dead. Aren't you going to do something?
I am doing something. I'm following the investigation protocol that will tell me what's happened here. Or did you want me to chase off into the docking ring with a phaser and shoot everything in sight? I'll want to interview you at length about this later, Envoy.
Thank you. I'm on my way to Ops.
In the meantime, watch yourself. If Carrick's death had anything to do with his mission, you may be next on the list.
How much trouble are we in?
Lots. We don't know who killed Carrick or why. We don't know if the killer got what he wanted or is still on the station, or whether or not this incident is linked with the Scythians.
Do we have any idea who murdered the ambassador?
We don't know who killed Carrick or why. We don't know if the killer got what he wanted or is still on the station, or whether or not this incident is linked with the Scythians.
We need to talk to the Scythians, you mean? Without the ambassador...
Envoy, to get out of this predicament, we'll need your help.
Tell me what I can do, Captain.
We're going to need your help on several levels, Bannock. First, there's a matter of Carrick's death.
I believe it is. It's got to be.
If so, we're going to need some explanations. We have to open communications with the Scythians.
I believe the killer's still on the station.
For safety's sake, we have to assume that you're right. We have to open communications with the Scythians.
I don't think the Scythians are involved, Captain.
With the murder? Perhaps not. With the drones? Almost certainly.
Could the drone attack have been a diversion? To distract us so that Carrick could be assassinated?
Interesting. But no. Odo established that Carrick died before the drone assault, even before you arrived at the station.
If Carrick died before I arrived, that eliminates me as a suspect.
That fact was not lost upon us, Envoy.
Go on, Captain.
Don't lose sight of the main threat.
Sir, Carrick was the only person on board who could communicate with the Scythians. Someone killed him to prevent that communication.
Very possibly. You'll have to watch your step, Envoy. Consider this. We may have a killer among us with a taste for diplomats. Don't lose sight of the main threat. Another, deadlier drone attack.
The clock is ticking? What does that mean?
It's an old Earth expression, Envoy. It means we don't have much time.
Captain, I'm a Federation diplomat, not a policeman.
This is no time to hide behind titles, Bannock. The survival of this station and its personnel is at stake. You will assist Odo in this investigation. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, Captain. But Captain, Mr. Odo may prefer to handle this case on his own. What do you want me to do, Captain? Captain, I have no experience with... whereas Ambassador Carrick, first contact... I don't think I'm the man for the job.
Think again, Bannock. There is no one else. Carrick chose you for a reason. Ask for help from Dax whenever you need it.
This phaser is fully charged, Captain?
Yes, Envoy. Set on stun, of course. Now, back to the Scythians.
Lieutenant Dax has kept me informed. We know they were collecting data on the station defenses.
And now we think we know what they used that data for. The drones are beginning to come through the wormhole again, Bannock. A whole new design. Lieutenant Dax can give you the details. That's all.
How is damage control coming along? Will we be able to survive another attack when it comes?
We certainly intend to, but we need to be prepared, Bannock. We need more information.
I think the drones are your problem, Captain.
Yes, they are for the moment. You focus on the Scythians, Ambassador. In the meantime, we'll hold the drones off as long as we can.
Hold them off? They've reappeared?
Yes. The drones are beginning to come through the wormhole again, Bannock. A whole new design. Lieutenant Dax can give you the details. That's all.
A horrible, horrible tragedy. I'm still in shock.
I'm sure you are, but we have some other concerns.
Yes, Captain Sisko mentioned something about the drones.
Yes, they're beginning to reappear. A new type of vessel, but the same pattern. One appears through the wormhole every 3 minutes or so.
Especially when cold-blooded murder's involved. I've seen loved ones die also. My parents. Murdered in a coup on Menensis 3.
The Caresis Treaty delegation.
That's right.
Your people eventually brought peace to that sector.
A measure of peace, yes.
A measure of peace is the best we can hope for, Bannock.
Unfortunately, that seems to be true.
We can talk more about that later.
No, we can hope for true peace. A measure of peace just seems to be all we can get at the moment.
How true. We can talk more about that later.
Not if we take some action and bring the murderers and aggressors to justice.
We will, don't worry. We can talk more about that later.
Yes. I've seen loved ones die also. My parents. Murdered in a coup on Menensis 3.
The Caresis Treaty delegation.
That's right.
Your people eventually brought peace to that sector.
Yes, it's a great loss for the Federation, and for Tyria.
Yes, I'm sure it is. You have something to discuss with me?
I didn't really know him all that well.
He was a man of peace. We will all mourn his passing.
The same pattern, you say? So...
They'll continue to build up their strike force, unit by unit, until a trigger vessel arrives. Then they'll attack all at once. If they're following the same programming sequence as the last ones did. Which seems to be the case so far.
They are robotic like before?
Yes, no life forms aboard any of them so far.
When will they attack, do you think?
The big question. I can't say for sure, of course, but with a few educated guesses based on the latest data, matrixed with a calculated hunch, I'd say you have about an hour to coax some helpful facts out of our Scythian friend.
Can you put one of those on the viewer, Lieutenant?
Let's see if we have a visual yet. I doubt it. They're keeping well out of range. Dax to Carlton. Dax to Ensign Carlton. Carlton, respond. That's odd. Dax to...
Carlton here, Lieutenant.
Ensign, have you finished modifying the sensor phase variants?
Yeah, with wideband modulation. No luck at double scan.
Don't waste time with that. Go to factor 10 and...
But the scan rate,
We can compensate with a focus sweep matrix.
key to a metaline structure.
Right. Use latinum. It's distinctive and certainly rare enough around here. Except at Quarks.
I'll try it, Lieutenant. Carlton out.
Well, that answers that.
What did all that mean?
What Carlton said was, we don't have a visual of the drones yet, and we won't for a while. They're being considerably sneakier, Bannock. It worries me.
Thanks for the update, Lieutenant.